So on this short video, I wanted to speak and share with you some perspective on stakeholders within your coaching engagement. We're coming, and this is a one-on-one coaching conversation. There are other elements when we talk about group coaching, coaching circles, team coaching, and that's another. But when we work on one-on-one, there is you, there is me, and that's pretty much it. And there is the organization if we meet, as it's most likely the case within the context of you being sponsored by, or this coaching being sponsored by your organization. It's important, I believe, to at all actors to be present, and as many actors as possible to be present to support your growth. Some actors are going to be very, very benevolent actors. Some other a little bit less, and some other in between. And in this short snippet, I want to address how to leverage the people around us as we engage in what seems to be a very personal process of development. I mean, it sounds obvious, but whatever we do together has an impact on whatever you do outside with everybody else, and of course with you. And therefore, using the people around not only as private, and instead of people around you not knowing that they're giving you feedback, we're going to make sure that we use them intentionally and sometimes directly. So there are multiple points where we invite people in your coaching engagement. Sometimes it's about the three-way conversation with your line manager, or the interview with some of your key stakeholders if you don't interview your line manager. Or when we do a 360 and I interview 6, 7, 8 people in your surroundings or in your context, then of course, by nature, we invite them into the conversation. Or when we do an online 360, then we can invite up to 10, 20, 30 people. And that, of course, is creating also other opportunities for dialogue. But there is also the more subtle or nuanced way you can look and interact with people around you. Number one is you creating space for yourself by having the session, but you also want to learn to create space for yourself outside of this session with the people around you. So letting people know that you're working on coaching can be very useful. Of course, you want to, and I don't know if it's of course actually, but you might want to let them know what you're working on and how you want them to support you. Like giving people the job is often much easier for them rather than letting them decide the job they want to take in supporting you, because we don't necessarily always want them to support us the way they believe is best for us. But giving them a job is sometimes very useful. By giving them a job, I mean, for instance, if you're working on being more direct or being more engaging, you simply can say that to some of your team members or some people in your friends or in your family. If you want to learn to be more direct, then let them know and see what happens 3 months later, and see ask them if they noticed anything. Another thing is change. Although most people would say that they appreciate change and they welcome it, few people actually appreciate the process or enjoy the process of change. And unconsciously, or sometimes very deliberately, they're going to limit the changing process by trying to keep you as you were. Like, I see you as in my case, Laurent, dressed like this, speaking like that, and anything which is out of the norm is kind of disturbing a little bit my world. So I have a pretty clear image of what Laurent is and how he behaves, and the type of even voice and the type of topics he discusses, and all these things, and the response and reaction he's having. So anything which is going to fall off a little bit or even further away from that little bit is going to generate a response, because that's how, as a human being, I learn to make sense of my environment, and I can operate without wasting or using too much energy, and then therefore not having to second guess, but simply work upon assumption. So nothing wrong with that. So when you create change, you're also asking your people to actualize their assumptions and the hypotheses they have when they interact with you. Sometimes it's going to be a very welcome change, so they're going really happily welcome the way you behave. And some other times they're going to need a little bit of time to confirm that this change, if it's a positive one for them, is actually real. So they're going to wonder and doubt if that's real. And therefore you have to be ready for that lag to take place. And for you to be able to be comfortable with that lag, sometimes you simply have to check with them how you're doing. Same thing at home. When you're engaging in some change, you also might want to use home as a nice playground or experimentation zone, so that they can allow you, they or he or her, or if it's your dog or nobody, then of course it's your friend and everybody else, to let you leverage on the credibility and the credits you have with them to try new things. Same thing at work. So you see where I'm going with this. The more you can engage with people and design your environment in such a way that you can try new, in the same way you would go to the gym or buy new clothes and change your food regimen and adjust your night sleep. You also want to use the resources around you as people, human beings, to support that growth and accept the help that they're willing to give you. The more you will leverage on people, the more they will be happy to be part of your growth, and the more they will do it themselves when the time comes. And the more, therefore, the whole group and system can evolve, and you can then talk about how you're not like you're going to be like me, so interested in why and how we develop and what happens during the development and all these little things. But maybe, who knows? So that's a little bit what I wanted to share about using your environment. Maybe a long answer to the question, but nevertheless, I think useful. More practically and directly, yes, your boss, your direct peers. This coaching can be a topic of conversation in the same way that your project A, B, or C. Please do yourself a favor and don't deal with it as if it's something we don't talk about. That's something to talk about because you're investing time and resources and you're trying to create behavioral adjustment or explore the various behaviors and emotional response to things. And therefore, making it a topic of tracking topic is simply enabling you to engage on a larger range of behavior and change. That's what I wanted to say about that. That's my perspective. Thank you for listening.